Hello, 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 everybody. Hello. Welcome to For My ATL Sports 1, coming to you this Friday evening. We are talking Falcons football and just a few items we need to discuss tonight. Show's not going to be too long. Tonight, we are talking about the Atlanta Falcons and their 53-man roster. We got a few things to get into. We're going to get into the roster. We're going to get into the Isaiah Wilkerson signing. We're going to get into what combinations you may see. What combinations or formations do you think the Falcons will throw out there in coverage? And we're going to get into that. I am your host, T. Will. I'm coming to you from For My ATL Sports 1 at YouTube. So if you get a chance, please like and subscribe. I'm also a member of the One Time for the Fan podcast, as you guys see me days a week with my co-host, Jack Spade. So, let's get to it with no further ado. As everybody knows, the Falcons finalized their 53-man roster this week. And I don't think there were many surprises. There were a few, but again, not that many. We all knew that they were going to pick Kirk Cousins. I think that was, the norm. I think everybody accepted that. So that wasn't a surprise. As far as the running backs, there were no surprises there. Well, I take that back. I may have been a little surprised. And let me bring up our running backs on the screen. So give me just a sec. And I will bring that up. All right, where are we? We are here. Okie doke. So let's go to the Falcons 53-man roster and let's kind of get into it, right? So, and this might be a little dated because as you guys know, Taylor Heinicke was traded. Give me one sec. I'm sorry. I thought you guys could see the screen. There we go. All right. So as I'm sure you guys know, Taylor Heinicke was traded. So at this moment, I believe we have two quarterbacks. We've got Kirk Cousins. We've got Michael Penix Jr. We have four running backs. We've got Bijan Robinson. We've got Tyler Algier. We've got Avery Williams. And we've got Jason McClellan. Now, I really thought Carlos Washington had a chance to make this team. I'm not going to lie. This one was a surprise for me. I wasn't stunned, but I really felt like Carlos had done enough at this point to at least make the team. And I know he did make the practice squad, but I really thought he would make the 53-man roster. I get that, maybe Tyler Algier is going to return kicks. Probably not punt returns, but maybe return kicks. So maybe that's why he sticks around. But I really felt like Carlos Washington really distinguished himself during that. Hello, Chun. How you doing? Welcome to the show. Hopefully all is well. Let me illustrate you here. How you doing? Hopefully all is well. Yeah, Chun, I agree. But, again, maybe the Falcons have plans for Avery as far as returning kicks. I mean, that to me is the only thing that makes sense here. Carlos had a great camp. Not a good camp, a great camp. I personally thought he kind of outshined Jace, but I don't work for the Falcons, so I don't make those decisions. So it looks like they went, and hey, Jace, a 5th-round draft pick. Jace went to Alabama. Let's see what the youngster can do. So not upset about that. Again, not surprised with Bijan or Tyler, but that's what they chose with as far as the running backs. Wide receivers, we got Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Ray McLeod, Kadero Hodge, and Casey Washington. Now, Chun, if you're out there, if you were surprised with these receivers, let me know. Let me know if you agree with it, or did you think that anyone else should have made the roster, right? So I know we had Blair, and I really thought Blair was going to make it over Casey Washington. If not over Casey Washington, I felt like we would keep 6 receivers. But again, I was wrong where that's concerned. So, Chun, if you had any surprise, you like Blair. I like him too. Did you think he was going to make the roster, Chun? Because I did. I really did. I thought he was going to make the roster. I was quite surprised when he didn't. So, there's that. But I'm not mad. Yeah, I'm not mad with the choice. Like, again, Drake London, you can't go wrong. Darnell Mooney, Ray McLeod, agree with all of that. Kadero Hodge is a stud as far as special teams is concerned. He really is. So I can see the logic behind that. That, you know what I mean? I like Blair, but if you want to go with 5, I get it. What that says to me is you're either trying to go with extra linebackers or extra defensive linemen, because maybe that's why you added 5. Yeah, I don't know that now they could add another receiver. They could, but I haven't really seen them do that. And the reason I feel like maybe they won't is because you're going in to play Pittsburgh next week. If you're going to side on wide receiver, I'd assume you do it this week so he can at least get a little familiar with the playbook. So, but again, maybe they will. Maybe they're just waiting for the right guy. Maybe they're waiting for the right cap casualty. Don't know, but it is interesting, right? So, but again, Kadero Hodge is a stud on special teams. I'm not mad at that. Casey Washington is a young fella. I'd say he had a good camp except for that third game. And maybe that was because, of who was throwing him the ball, and, maybe there were circumstances with that. But all in all, I think he did have a good camp. I think he showed some promise. Maybe that's what the Falcons thought as well. So, let's see where we go with that one. So next we got the tight ends. We got Kyle Pitts, we got Charlie Warner, and Ross Dwelley. Obviously, Kyle is your receiver out of this bunch. I think you drafted Charlie Warner to block and maybe Ross to block as well. Don't know much about Ross Dwelley, so I can admit that I will probably need to do more research in regards to, is he a blocking tight end, passing tight end, somewhere in the middle? I'd like to think he's either a blocking tight end or somewhere in the middle, but you never know. So now we're on to the offensive linemen. No real surprises here. We've got Jake Matthews. We've got Matthew Bergeron. We've got Drew Dahlman, Chris Lindstrom, Caleb McGarry, Ryan Nuzell, Kyle Hinton, Storm Norton, and Jovan Gwynn. And today, I believe, either today or yesterday, the Falcons signed Isaiah Wilkerson to the practice squad, which Isaiah's played with us before. He's an okay offensive lineman, so I'm not mad. As a backup, I'm not mad at that. He was here before, and like I say, he's okay. He's not terrible. So he did have some good games. So I agree with that. Defensive line, we got Grady Jarrett, we got David Onyemata. We got Taquan Graham, and we got Zach Harrison. We got Eddie Goldman. We got Kentavious Street. We got Rook Aroraro. That's like Scooby-Doo. Raggy. Roro. Anyway. Brandon Dorless and James Smith-Williams. Now, I really like this defensive line. I can't see a weak spot on here, right? This interior defensive line is second to none. Okay? It is second to none. I'm really excited about it. And we have some rushers. We got Matthew Judon, right? Matter of fact, I don't even see Matthew Judon. Oh, he's my bad. They have him as a linebacker. But this defensive line is impressive. Okay? Again, Grady Jarrett. Wallace, how we doing, man? How you doing? Hopefully all is well. Doing good, Wallace. Doing good. We are talking the Falcons 53 likes. I don't want to say dislikes because I love the roster. And, maybe some flexibility in how we're going to use it. But we'll get into that. But, Wallace, man, I'm doing well. Hopefully you're doing great. I'm glad to see you tonight. So, again, we got Grady, we got David, we got Taquan, we got Zach, we got Eddie, we got Kentavious, we got Rook, we got Brandon Dorless, we got James Smith-Williams. I do not see a weak spot on this roster, gentlemen. I'm fired up about it. I mean, this was my favorite part of this team. This is what I was raving about. And every guy on here is either solid or has promise. Grady, David, professionals, Pro Bowlers, darn near Hall of Famers. Great. Nothing bad I can say about them. Taquan, again, good defensive lineman. Zach Harrison, good defensive lineman. Eddie Goldman was great. He is back. He is in shape. He is healthy. He is ready to get out there and kick some ass. I'm excited about it. Kentavious Street, man, y'all know I love me some Kentavious Street. Kentavious Street, that's just a grown man. He gets after it. He doesn't get cheated. And I just like the way he goes about his business. Rook Orororo. Rook is strong. Rook's categories when he got drafted were all green. They were all green. Wallace says, and you know what? Let me get back. I'm sorry, because I don't want to disrespect Chun, so let me show him some love. Chun says Wilkerson was good. I agree. Wallace Smith says, I'm good, Terry. I like the 53-man roster because this is the first time that we've had a roster like this on both sides of the ball. Totally agree, Wallace. 100% agree. 100% agree. So we got Rook Orororo, who, first of all, can jump out of the gym. His metrics are off the chart, and he is S-C-R-O-N-G, strong. I know the word is spelled with a T, but I said that for emphasis. Rook Orororo is strong. Okay, he's a grown-ass man. Okay, I've been looking at him in the preseason, and I don't see him get knocked around. I don't see him get knocked back. I see some penetration on that line. So I think he's going to be a force to contend with. Brandon Dorless has been decent, and I love me some James Smith-Williams. What I love about James Smith-Williams is if you watch him rush the quarterback, he always maintains the outside lane, right? So there are some rushers that when they rush the quarterback, they veer too far inside and they leave the quarterback a lane to get around them. And if you're the defensive end and the quarterback gets behind you, it's trouble because you're going to look up and it's 10, 15, maybe 20 yards later. That's not a good thing. From what I've seen of James Smith-Williams, he always maintains that outside lane. He has been great. So looking at these defensive linemen, I couldn't be more excited about it. Okay. But the linebackers are just as good. For our linebackers, we got Matthew Judon. Need I say more? I mean, the name says it all. This dude is a stud. Okay. There's some guys that can do it in the preseason. There's some guys that can do it in practice. There's some guys that can do it in the warm-up. But Matthew Judon, he's a 1 o'clock dude, which means when the lights go on, when it's time to get it done, when it's time to go, Matthew Judon can get to that quarterback unabated, unblocked. He's going to get to that quarterback. He's going to bring him down. When it's third and you got to have it, you want Matthew Judon in there. When it's third and it's our season, you want Matthew Judon in there. When it's third and for the freaking Super Bowl, you want Matthew Judon in there. Matthew Judon is that dude, okay? He just is. Lorenzo Carter. I think Lorenzo's going to have a great year. I think Lorenzo is going to benefit from Matthew Judon being in there. I think Matthew Judon is going to make everybody better, right? So if Lorenzo had 4 sacks last year, I'm going to go ahead and give him 7 this year because I think it's going to happen. I think the affect of Matthew Judon and our interior defensive linemen is going to raise the collective performance of our Falcons, and I'm here for it. All right? Next, we got, AK-47. It's a famous line from Jackie Brown. When you absolutely have to kill every MFer in the room, except no substitutes. AK-47. Arnold Ebiketie is going to get 10 sacks this year, again, because they're going to raise the collective performance. Chun says, yes, sir. Wallace Smith says, Judon is going to make a big difference to our defense that is going to have other players benefiting from his presence on the field. Totally agree. Totally agree, Wallace. 100%. Matthew Judon makes all the difference in the world because you can't account for him, right? You look, if it's 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd in Boston, third in the mortgage, Matthew Judon is coming, and you have to account for him. You got to double team him. So if you got, let's say we rush 5. If you got Matthew Judon, Grady Jarrett, David Onyemata, Rook Arororo, you're sending Caden Ellis. Maybe you're sending Troy Anderson. You can't double everybody. You can't double team everybody. Somebody's going to get through. And oh yeah, we got 2 of the greatest safeties in the NFL right now. I think we have the 2 best safeties in the NFL, undoubted. So the point is, 3rd and 5, you better get that thing out of there very quickly. Mateo, what's up, Mateo? How you doing, my brother? Mateo says, rise up, got to set it off right and beat Smith by a lot. And to that I say, hell yes, Mateo. Hell yes. We do have to beat Arthur Smith and his mustache by a lot. And I think that we will win. I'm not going to, definitively say it's going to be by a lot. But at the end of the day, as long as we have more than they do, when the clock strikes 0, I'm good. I definitely think we will win that matchup, and I'm definitely excited about it. D'Angelo Malone. Now, this is an interesting one because to this point, D'Angelo has not been able to consistently show what he did at Western Kentucky. And I think this year he's going to get his opportunity. And, I mean, we'll see. But, again, with all of the talent around D'Angelo, maybe we see a better version of himself. Let's see. Mateo says, show him how to run an offense and a team. Team Raheem. Agreed, man. Agreed. And I agree. Raheem is going to get it done. Zach Robinson is going to get it done. Our defense coordinator, Jerry Gray, is going to get it done. So let's go to inside linebackers. We got Caden Ellis. And again, our linebackers are great. Those 3, Caden Ellis, Troy Anderson, Nate Landman, could all start. They are all studs. They all have a great skill set. And I can't wait to see them on the field, especially in packages together. That is one of the things I am most excited about, how you can plug and play some of these guys and how that dynamic is going to react together. I can't wait. I'm personally very excited because of the things that you can do. Again, if it's 3rd and 5, right? You got Caden out there. You got Troy out there. Maybe you throw Nate Landman in there. Troy can cover. Caden can rush. Nate can do what he does, but I'm excited to see all 3 of these linebackers can start on any NFL roster. They are great. J.D. Bertrand, or as Raheem would say, Captain America, looks to be a solid rookie. Smart guy. Very smart guy. Very, very football intelligent. Very football savvy. Very football. He's got good instincts, right? He looked good in the preseason. So I, for one, can't wait to see just how these guys are going to react and play together. And now guys, fans of 4myatlsports Sports 1. By the way, please like and subscribe for my ATL Sports 1 at YouTube. Please like and subscribe. I think our secondary is one of the best in the league. So number 1, we got AJ Terrell. Number 2, we got Mike Hughes. For your nickel cornerback, we got D. Alford. We got Clark Phillips and Antonio Hamilton Sr. backing them up. And I think that's great. I really do. Next, we got Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons. Let's just think about this for a minute, right? We got Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons, 2 of the absolute best monster safeties in the league. All right? They are outstanding. Where are you going to throw the ball? Where are you going? It's 3rd and 5, right? We come out nickel. Where are you going? Simple. You're not going to throw the ball. It is officially a no-fly zone. You're not going to throw on us. Don't put yourself in 3rd and 7. Don't put yourself in 3rd and 8 because you're not going to throw on us. And if you do, a lot of times, guess what? It's going back the other way. It's going back the other way. Just so you guys know, the number 1 and number 2 safeties for interceptions reside on your Atlanta Falcons. Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons combined, are number 1 and number 2 in interceptions the past 2 or 3 years. That's right. We got them. They are on our squad. Wallace Smith says, our defense is good up front, in the middle, and in the back, which is the first time we have ever had this. And I agree. So much, I'm going to say it again. Our defense is good up front, in the middle, and on the back end, which this is the first time we have ever had. And he's absolutely right. I've been a Falcons fan for at least 46, 47 years. All right. I've never seen a Falcons team with the star power that we have on defense and on offense. And I'm excited about it. I am excited about it because not only do I feel like we're going to win the South, I personally feel like we're going to make a deep run. We are going to make a deep run. And we might surprise some folks. I'm not saying we definitively go to the Super Bowl, but it could happen, right? It could happen. Guys, do me a favor. If you feel like this team is good enough to win a Super Bowl, say it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. Tell me how you feel about our Super Bowl chances this year. If you feel like this team is legitimately good enough to go to the Super Bowl, let me know. If you feel like, Terry, I don't know what you've been drinking tonight, they have no chance, you can say that too. Let me know how you feel about it. That's right. So Chun says, let's go, right? Chun also says, why not us? And he's right. Why not us? Why not us? I mean, look, there have been plenty of years where a first-time team or a team goes to the Super Bowl and wins the first time. The Philadelphia Eagles went in 1980 and lost. The Patriots went to the Super Bowl in 96 and lost. Okay. So, everyone doesn't win a Super Bowl their first time going to the dance. But the bottom line is, as long as you get it done, you get it done. Again, if you guys feel like the Falcons have a legitimate shot at making the Super Bowl, let me know how you feel about it. So for our safeties, we got Jesse Bates, we got Justin Simmons, we still have Richie Grant, and we got Micah Abernathy. Wallace says this team is really good enough to go to the Super Bowl and win it, and this is what other teams have when they go to the Super Bowl. Exactly. Agreed 100%. 100%, Wallace. I mean, again, I think this squad is good enough to get things done. I really do. I'm not selling you any fluff. I feel like, and this is the first time I've ever felt at the start of a Falcons season that this team was good enough to go to the Super Bowl. I felt like we had a chance. I felt like we had some good teams. I felt like, it would be a good season. Never, ever have I felt like from day one, this team has a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Now, it doesn't mean they will, right? Things happen. They do. But it just feels that way, right? All right. So our kicker is Koo. What up, Edward Jenkins? All right, Ed. I think Ed dropped a 1 in there. So I think Edward feels like we can go to the Super Bowl. I appreciate it. So I'll tell you, let's make it easy. If you feel like the Falcons can go to the Super Bowl and win, drop a 1. If you don't feel that way, drop a 2 in the chat. Okay. So we've got Bradley Pinion as our punter, and our long snapper is Liam McCullough. And that, everyone, is your 2024 Atlanta Falcons. Okay. If you feel like the Falcons can win a Super Bowl, drop a 1 in the chat. And if you don't feel like they can, drop a 2 in the chat. All right. Wallace says 1. Edward Jenkins says 1. Wallace says once we get to gelling down the back end of the season, teams are not going to want to play us. No, they're not. No, they're not. You're absolutely right. Wallace says 1. And Chun says 1. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, guys, now that we've talked about the roster, let's talk about just what combinations do you guys think the Falcons will deploy, right? So, for example, I heard Raheem talk about not only using Simmons and Bates, but also in some formations having Simmons, Bates, and Richie Grant in that formation. And this kind of intrigued me. Richie Grant plays well up on the line, right? Richie Grant plays well up on the line. So I can envision a situation. I don't know if it's nickel. I don't know if it's dime. I don't know what the coverage is, but I'm just curious about how that would work, right? You've got the 2 studs back there. You just don't know how it would go. But what I do like about it is that Justin Simmons and Jesse Bates can both play free or strong safety. What does that mean? Well, what that means is you can line up in a formation and not know who's the free and who's the strong. And that's going to impact how you react to coverage. Most of the time when you see the quarterback walk up to the line, you'll hear him say 62 is the Mike, 54 is the Mike. The Mike linebacker is the middle linebacker, and that's how certain teams will ascertain what coverage they're in, right? You look at it from the middle linebacker and the safeties. If you don't know who the safeties are, you can disguise a lot. So Chun says, I like that. I'm looking forward to that, right? I also wonder, what formations do you guys think the offense will run out of? Do you think it'll run out of the 11 formation or 12? 11 being 1 running back, 1 tight end, and 3 receivers, or 12 being 2 tight ends? From my understanding, it seems like Zach Robinson likes to run with 11 personnel. But I don't know. And as such, if you're running 11 personnel, like, what's that look like? Is that going to be a lot of motion to ascertain the coverage? Are you running outside zone, outside stretch plays? What are we doing? I would imagine that, but until we can actually see that, you just don't know. And that's one of the things I'm really looking for with this Falcons team, because we have so much variety. Even though you can come out in 11 personnel, if you want to, put Bijan in motion and put him out on the line, now that's a 4th receiver. If you want to run him on an angle route, it just gives you so many options, and we have so much speed. And I just feel like this offense is going to be great. So I'm excited about what formations they're going to run out of. How are they going to switch back and forth? What combinations you may see. If you guys can think of any exotic combinations or whatever you'd like to see, throw it in the chat. You know what I mean? Throw it in the chat. Whether that's a background of Bijan and Tyler Algier, just, what that is. Because, again, you can do that, and you can flex Bijan, out in the slot. You can come out in power, in power I with Tyler, and Bijan, and you can flex them out. There are many variations and many things you can do with this club. So, I, for one, am looking forward to that. Kirk Cousins alluded to the fact that winning a Super Bowl in Atlanta would probably mean more than anywhere else. And this caught my eye because I know his wife was from Atlanta, but I didn't realize that Kirko Frost gets us, right? He gets us. He basically alluded to the fact that when the Falcons went to the Super Bowl in 2016, being that his wife's family is from here, he bought his dad's his father-in-law Super Bowl tickets to go see the Super Bowl. And obviously that loss and that, catastrophic ending, I think it made an impression on him because he talks about it and he basically alludes to the fact that, look, I'd love to win a Super Bowl anywhere, but it just feels better if we could do it here. And that to me says that he and Raheem are aligned, right? It says that Kirk gets it. Kirk gets it. Kirk understands, right? Because let me tell you something. It is great. It is great that the Braves won the World Series. It's great. I love the Braves. I'm watching them right now. As you guys can see in the background, I'm watching them right now. The Braves are great. I love the Braves. I've been a Braves fan since I was 7 years old, right? I love the Hawks. I love Atlanta United. But the Atlanta Falcons are the straw that stirs the drink. Okay? Make no mistake about it. Fool yourself if you want to. ATL is all about those dirty birds. And if your Atlanta Falcons win a Super Bowl, holy cheese balls. The city will turn itself on its axis. The parties that will go on will be unstoppable. And I'm here for it. And Kirk gets that. Raheem gets that. Raheem was here in 2016, right? Chun Walton says he wants to be here. And he does, Chun. You're absolutely right. Kirk gets the fact that that was one of the most brutal losses ever for this city. Raheem was there. He knows the feeling. He was on the plane on the way back. And I bring it up to say that it seems like this entire squad is on a mission. So Kirk and Raheem, they are aligned. They are together on that mission. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Soul Food, but there's a scene where the grandma says, 5 fingers by themselves, they can't do much, but you put them together and one fist will pack a mighty blow. And what she's alluding to is if you come together for a purpose and you are aligned, you are of the same mindset, you are all on the same page, that's kind of hard to stop. And that is Raheem, and that is Kirko Chain. And if they are aligned and ready to go, they're going to be tough to deal with. So again, I like what he said. I like what he's about. I can't wait for the season. I am looking forward to what we can do. All right. Last point. And I kind of alluded to this on the One Time for the Fan show earlier, of which I am a part of. So please like and subscribe for my ATL Sports 1 at YouTube, but also like and subscribe One Time for the Fan. So we had a show earlier today, and I alluded to the fact that, you know what? Jesse Tuggle, one of the greatest linebackers ever, is not in the Hall of Fame. And what bothers me about it is if you go back and you look at his stats, he should have been in the Hall of Fame. He should have been in the Hall of Fame 10 years ago. If he played for the Giants, the 49ers, the Raiders, he would already be in the Super Bowl. And the fact that he's not is just another example of the narrative and the bias against the Atlanta Falcons. And I really think it's a shame that he's not in the Hall of Fame. So hopefully we can win a Super Bowl this year, and it can bring emphasis to the fact that we got some Falcons that need to be in the Hall of Fame, i.e. Tommy Nobis and Jesse Tuggle. So anyway, that's just my thoughts. Guys, I appreciate you guys being with me. This was really fun. I'm here every Friday night. Yeah, they do hate on us, Chun. They really do. They really do. I think it's just a narrative, Chun. I think it's just a narrative out there. You know what I mean? Sometimes, and look at these pundits, you know, these radio hosts, and they got to sell tickets too. They got to sell airtime too. So it gives them something to talk about. But I just think it's unfair to treat Jesse Tuggle that way, because Jesse was a great linebacker, a Hall of Fame linebacker on some bad teams, and that's not fair, right? So anyway, look, we win the Super Bowl. Maybe Jesse gets his just due. You know, maybe they look at him and say, okay, we're wrong. Let's fix this. Let's get this right. Anyway, guys, tonight was really fun. I think going forward, we're going to do the show Friday nights between 7:30 and 9. You know, it can start anytime between then. So again, please like and subscribe at 4myatlsports1, and do so you get the notifications when we do go live. But for now, it's just going to be every Friday, typically anytime between 7:30 to 9 o'clock. So I thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you for giving me some of your time. Wallace, thank you. Chun, thank you. Edward, thank you. And Mateo, thank you. And anybody else that I cannot see, thank you for joining me. I appreciate your time. And let's do it again next Friday. Really did have fun. Guys, secondly, I want to thank God, because I wouldn't be here without him. Lastly, I want to thank Mr. Jack Spade, Miss Carrie, Bodie 3000, Chase from DFU, Philip from DFU, Chris A1 from 95 North and A1 Forever, Smitty 11K from Smitty Sports and from 95 North, Birdo from 95 North, Bleacher Report and everything, as well as Big Low Country and Uncle Steve. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys. Also, Jordan Burden, if you're out there, thank you. Appreciate you. Guys, I will see you probably Sunday on the One Time for the Fan podcast at 7:30. Don't forget. And yes, he said, won't it be nice to win a Super Bowl in New Orleans? Edward, you're absolutely right. It would be the best to, you know what would be even better? And guys, I'm petty. Okay. Just so you know, I'm Petty Eddie. I am petty. I am petty as F. It would be great to win in New Orleans 28-3. That's all I'm going to say. There'd be nothing better than to win the Super Bowl in New Orleans 28-3. And I'm watching it while I'm eating beignets, listening to Chopper Style. That would be great. I don't think there's anything else that would beat that. As a matter of fact, if you can think of a better scenario and a better score, drop it in the chat. But I think it would be poetic. First off, if we win the Super Bowl in New Orleans 28-3. Think about it. In your chats with the Saints fans, what could they say? They could say nothing. It's game over. It's checkmate. You can't refer to 2009 anymore. You can't ring check anymore. You can no longer ring check us. And we won the Super Bowl in your home stadium. And we won it 28-3. So now you got to take that damn sign down. I think it would be great. Not that I'm still harboring it or upset about it or anything. I'm not. I'm not upset about the fact that they tease us. I'm not upset at all. I'm really calm. But it would be great. It would be really freaking great if we could win in their house 28-3. Holy shit, I know I'm petty. But I'm just, y'all agree with me. Every Falcon fan out there, you guys know you agree with me. Okay? And maybe I'm petty. But if we went into New Orleans, kicked that damn door down, won the Super Bowl, took their dog, snatched some beignets, on the way out to ATL, hopped on the plane. There's no better revenge. I'm just saying. There's no better revenge. I can't think of a better scenario. We win the game. It's 28-3. They play that damn chopper style every time they score a damn touchdown, and they got to hear that over and over and over and over again. And they see the confetti raining down, and it's red and black, and the Saints fans are just, they're hating it. And it's great. I mean, I can't think of anything better. You know, I can admit I'm petty. Okay, I am petty. I can admit that. But on some level, Falcons fans, it wouldn't feel good. No, if you guys would, like, come on, you know what it is. It would be great. It would be outstanding. But anyway, thank you to everyone in this chat. Hey, I said my shout outs. Thank you to God. Couldn't do this without him. Thank you to my family. Thanks to all my podcaster friends and buddies and guys. I will see you guys next week, probably 7:30, maybe 7:30 to 8:30 on Friday. And I will also see you guys this Sunday at 7:30 p.m. as we will be doing the One Time for the Fan show. And we will have Myles Garrett as a special guest on the show. So, hey, if you're a fan of Myles Garrett, join the show. If you like Myles, join the show. Maybe you have some questions for him. I think it's going to be a good time. You know, we can talk some Falcons, maybe a little Braves, maybe a little Dogs. Hopefully that Sunday we'll be celebrating a victory that occurs tomorrow. But anyway, guys, that is all the time I have for tonight. I thank you guys for joining me. You guys have been great, and I will see you Sunday or next Friday, contingent upon your time. Thank you. Have a great day. Have a great weekend, and rise up.